What up, world? Your man Flippin' Lincoln here. I'm starting to really think that I need not Alcoholics Anonymous, Automobiles Anonymous, because every day I insert vehicle terms, car terms in everyday conversation. No matter what it is. And sometimes it's really truly unintentional, but I do it. Trying to get the right angle here for this camera, and it's, I'm not really a camera person per se, but like, it's wild. Driving down the street, I'll sit there and say, police cars. I call them pace cars now. But all they do is set the pace. When you see a police car, you slow down. You do this, you do that. You act accordingly. Well, it's setting that pace. Even in your vehicle. If I'm at work and they're talking like a coupling or something like that, I'll insert a car phrase in there or car terminology in that situation. But yeah, and then also, if I was a single man with the same love and desire I have right now for vehicles, I would probably have an engine in my garage, engine in my living room, dining room, motorcycle sitting up. You'll walk in the house like, what are you doing? Well, that's a weekend project, that's a today project, that's this project. I think I have a problem. I think I need to be the founding member. Well, I'm sure there's others out there. Hopefully. Automobiles Anonymous. And by the way, I think I think I should be the president of that. Automobiles Anonymous. I truly do love automobiles. I truly love the everything. I might be a Lincoln guy, but I love automobile culture in general, and the level of intelligence it takes to build a vehicle, even a vehicle you don't like. Like, for example, that Chevrolet Astro minivan, those are a pain to put spark plugs in. One of my partner's granddaddy or uncle something had one years ago, and I helped him get the plugs on it, and I sliced my arm up. Something serious helped him out that day. Hell, putting that radiator hose on my Continental the other day and reaching down in between the fan and the head to get that get it to that junction connection. That was a pain in the butt. But I don't know, those kind of things that make your life interesting and all that fun stuff. I actually love working on cars. I always have. When I was a kid, my friends would make fun of me because I built speaker boxes out of old shelves and old dressers and stuff like that. That's what I had lying around. My dad wasn't going to go out and buy me the wood for it, so I repurposed what was already in the house, and I had fun doing it. I truly enjoyed it. I even took a chunk of my finger out. Had I stabbed my finger so hard, went through the speaker wire into my finger, my pointing finger, and took a chunk out. Which then I had to hold down. I took tissue paper, stuck it on top of the wound, tied it up with electrical tape, and went to school. So I was about 16 or something like that. I was in high school, but yeah, man, like my first speaker box I ever built was for my 1987 Murphy Topaz, single 12 box. I made all at the house. My dad had a little jigsaw with a bad blade, and I just, made me screwed everything together, made a face plate, got it all working. Sounded pretty. It was basically a bass tube, but it sounded pretty decent for what it was. A little cheap speaker that one of my partners had gave to me or something like that. Paid him $10 for some nonsense. That's the first one I ever built. Then I started wiring up stuff. I wired the entire car up. None but bass though. Just bass. No highs, no mids, no nothing. But I enjoyed it. I think one of the first albums I played in that Mercury Topaz was Outkast Alien. So, that was one of the first albums I played in there. So, it was a lot of bass, so I enjoyed that. Next car I had music in was my, that I personally owned. Because believe it or not, years before that, before my mom and my dad split, my parents, I ain't saying my mom, but my parents had a G20 standard Chevy van, no high top, standard roof. And I found a 12 box, drug it home on my bike, cleaned it, vacuumed it off, the whole nine, saved my little pennies up, bought two Pioneer 12s, two Pioneer Free Air 12s that were only like 400 watts a piece. Plugged them in, just ran a simple hookup, undid the little 6.5 or 6-inch speakers that was on the right and left of the back of the van. Ran a wire from the factory wires to the box, and had a little boom back there. Proud of myself for that little bit of my little accomplishment at the time. That was my first really into music, in car audio, I should say. I used to subscribe to Crushville magazine as a kid, up until my 20, I want to say. Read the articles and stuff like that, different stuff about, box volume and stuff like that, cubic feet of air moving on and stuff, learn a lot of stuff, run stuff parallel, run stuff in series. Crushville magazine was a great resource for that back then. I don't know what it is now. I haven't subscribed to Crushville magazine in 20 years. But I'm sure it's still a good resource for anybody who's looking for an introduction. The next car I had music in was my 1984 Plymouth Grand Fury. I had that when I lived in Baltimore, Maryland. And I had two 600-watt 6x9s that I got from not swap meet, flea market, there we go. Went to flea market with my aunt, and I got two 600-watt 6x9 I put in the back window. Then I bought a Kenwood amp. I got a Kenwood 4-channel. And a Pioneer 12 in a bandpass box. And I bridged the subwoofer at two 600 watts on the top two channels. I ran a line converter because I ran the factory deck, the 84 Plymouth factory deck. And I'm gonna tell you right now, cheap system, but for what it was, I literally had maybe $150 in this system. And you could hear me from damn near half a block away. When I had a good radio signal and a good song came on the radio, you could hear me from at least like a half block away. And them 6x9 sounded amazing on that amp. The sub sounded good. It was a good first cheap setup that I did all myself. The second time I did it, it was even simpler than that. I had two Bazooka 8-inch, something like that, little bass tube. I had those in the 1990 Dodge Dynasty on a factory deck. But then once I moved back, I left Baltimore and went back to Huntsville around 20. Around 20 years old. I hooked up a TV in there, ran off a VCR, a little small TV. So I had two speakers, two little subs, two little bass tubes, TV deck, playing Dragon Ball Z VHS tapes, and I don't remember what head unit I ran. It might have been factory, but it might have been, or what's a little Pioneer deck? Something like that, some little cheap deck I had at the time. Something like that, don't remember. But you know what though? When you're playing a movie or something like that, man, it actually sounded really, really good. So I enjoyed that little system. Then I had music hooked in my Suburban. I had a 98 Suburban. Years later, 4x4, brush guard, 4-wheel drive, all that stuff, big tires. Well, 15-inch rims on some semi-knobby tires. I had a single 12 in there with a nice box. Sounded pretty decent. Wouldn't rattle your teeth or nothing like that, but when you're in it, music, it was a very balanced system. It sounded really good. I was on my way to process, and I was in the process of going to replace all the interior speakers and upgrade to 12. Now I got sideswiped, and then I told the truck out. After that, I didn't put any music in anything for a while, and then I put music in my 97 Continental. I got the Continental, and I put 212. But I think I didn't put a picture of the 212. I just reran the wires, cleaned them up, and reran them in parallel. Reran them parallel recently. I put a picture on that on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram, and I think even TikTok page. So just what I did. This is something very simple. But those, and they're 2-pile 10-inch dual voice coil subs in a decent box actually. The box is pretty decent. Sound good. When they're hooked up, they sound good. The reason I took them out and I unhooked the system because I had my deck went bad. The original deck, the first deck I put in there, cheap as shit. Cheap as crap. And it fizzled out on me. I got another deck put in. It ran fine. Then all of a sudden, the system started going, like, it wasn't booming like it used to. And I don't know if I had a failure in the lightning cap, the amp, or the speakers. I traced myself back when I first did it, and the speakers seemed fine. I hooked up to my home theater system. They sound fine. The cones move, because the amp was not powerful enough to blow the speakers. The way I had it wired, it wouldn't have blown the speakers at all. It was only a 1200 watt Sony amp, 1200 watt max Sony amp at the time. So it's not going to blow two dual voice coil speakers that are 1,000 watts apiece. And the way I had it ran, they're 4-ohm speakers, which of course it ran in parallel. That means they're 2 ohms each stable, and then I bridged it. It should technically bring down to 1 ohm, hopefully. It should be at 1 ohm. That's the way the math hopefully does work. Okay, so, and if I'm wrong, please correct me, put it in the comments. I am not a professional. I'm just at home, in the neighborhood, have fun, hook stuff up. But I think the lightning cap failed, because when I recently, like I said, doing this whole rewiring thing, I took the lightning cap out the little holder on the back of the box, and when I took, I shook it, and you can hear like it rattling. I undid the amp, looked, for the 15th time, 20th time, looked at the what do you call it? The fuses aren't blown. Smell the amp doesn't smell hot. So I think the lightning cap actually what failed the system. It was going out, which caused everything else to fizzle out. So at some point, I'm gonna take it to a sound shop and get it checked out. I don't have anything really hooked up right now. And I don't even know if the remote wires are hooked up to the little cheap deck. Well, it should be, because the same deck I had when I pulled it out. I have all my wires. I might try to hook it up one day. When I get some free time, put my fuse back in. In the front or in the engine bay, my engine bay fuse back in. I might try to hook it back up, just to see if them subs play on that amp. And if they do, I will let you guys know, and I'll try my best to video it. But if not, it's going to a shop to get checked out. But I think it's a damn, I think it's a lightning cap. Anyway, I digress. I want to get the music hooked back up, because my goal is to put I have 3 10-inch subwoofers, single voice coil that I bought a decade plus ago. They never had power ran to them. branding series that I want to put in the back of the Continental now. On the amp I got. I've been holding on to stuff for so long, I need to get some use out of it. So that's my next goal, and hopefully I'm gonna give y'all an update. I know it's a long, crazy video about some of my little audio journey through all the cars I've owned, ups and downs and everything. Look here, world. Y'all have a good one. Enjoy the rest of y'all day. Talk to y'all later.